This is the September 8th meeting of the Berlin Zoning Board of Appeals. It's being held virtually. Your image or and voice may be recorded. I'll introduce, I just got to get this continue out of my face. I'll introduce the folks here. We have Leanne, who is the Inspector and Land Use Board's clerk, myself, Lynn Ryan, Jim Roya,
Yep.
Danny Bartlett,
Yes.
Keith Susie,
Yes.
and Susanna.
Yes.
And we don't have anybody else joining us, do we?
No, the only other ones I reminded were Chris Keefe from the Select Board as a liaison and Louise Janda from Conservation Commission as a liaison, but I also sent them the agenda with no hearings or, it's just housekeeping items, so.
Yeah,
don't know.
I ended up talking to both of them and they know that there's, no
Right,
pending stuff. I was wondering, the guy up on Old Central Street there,
mhm.
has he ever come to the building inspector?
And no, he is not. The last I heard was he didn't have enough time to gather stuff together and file before his continuations of his earthworks hearing. And so they closed that hearing and he's been informed of that and we haven't heard boo from him.
Yeah, because Margaret asked me, she said, can he attend one of your meetings? And I said, well, he's more than free to attend one of our meetings, but we can only discuss with him procedural matters.
Mhm.
We can't tell him what he needs. I said, in order to know what he needs to go have a chat with the building commissioner and tell him what he wants to do. And then the building commissioner will tell him whether or not it's possible. And if it's possible, what permits or site plans he might need.
Well, he did start that process a year ago, August. He does have a letter from the building commissioner dated last August. But he decided to clear lots and go for the earthworks permit first. He kind of put the cart before the horse. And so he already spoke with the building inspector over a year ago before he even bought the land. And he has a letter stating what he would need to come before the ZBA for, and he just has not followed through with it.
Okay, do we have minutes, Leanne?
We do minutes of August 11th, which I sent out, and the one I sent out on Monday with a reminder had a couple additions to it from my original draft.
Okay, would anyone care to make a motion to approve? And I would suggest that everybody was at the last meeting, were they not?
Yep.
Keith was
Okay.
not there.
Okay, so,
I move to accept the minutes of the last meeting and the added,
with the add-ins, the recent add-ins, right?
With
Seconded.
revisions.
And Jim, you seconded it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm a Jim,
Yay.
Denny,
yes,
Susanna,
Yes.
and Keith, you're gonna vote present, right? Because you weren't at the meeting, right?
Right.
Okay. I see that is everybody all up to date on their ethics? I see you did that, Keith, right?
Yep.
I did
Anyone else?
not. No, I still need to do it.
Okay,
But Keith,
Yeah.
I also need you to come in and sign. It's a separate document that came from the select board's office. It's a code of conduct for all boards and committee volunteers. So that is in the box in the mailroom. That needs your signature on it.
Okay.
and the only signature we need on the other decision, the Pollard, is Denny's, right?
Denny and Ginny. When I left at 1 o'clock today, Ginny still hadn't signed, so.
Oh, well, I'll have to call her and tell her she has to come join us because
Yeah,
she didn't do her duty.
she might have
Okay.
after I left. Denny, if you go in tomorrow, if you're the last one to sign it, could you please then put it in Eloise's box?
Okay,
Because that way
You-
it'll get filed with her tomorrow rather than waiting until next week when I'm back in the office.
Do you want a copy of it and put in the box for you?
I do have a copy without everyone's signature, and then Eloise always provides me with one after she stamped it and
All
signed
right,
it.
if she's gonna give you one, that's fine.
Yeah, she always does. She's really good about that.
Because we want one with the initials on each page, so we know what it's all
Yep.
about.
Yeah. So
Is there
Denny, yeah,
anything-
if you would just turn it into Eloise, that would be great.
okay.
Yeah, because tomorrow is what, Thursday, so she's there from like 11 to 1 or something.
Right, and otherwise I won't be back in the office till Monday, which means it won't get filed with her until Tuesday. So I'd rather get it filed tomorrow than next Tuesday.
And those poor people have been good. They haven't hounded us, you know?
Mhm.
Do we have any other business?
All I have is what we were talked about last month on the money for like Northbrook Village 2 and the other one was down on River Road.
Yeah,
Um, What's
Boundless
that?
Adventures, Boundless
River
Adventures,
Run, River Run.
yeah.
And I've been calling Northbrook 2, the number that the town has on file for 'em, and finally I went down today and I still didn't get any answer from anybody.
How about, now that was an LIP, right? A local initiative petition that was part of, the town was involved in that, right?
Right, I checked with Eloise and she told me
Okay.
I had to go to Northbrook Village 2 because they didn't want to be part of the Northbrook people.
Village, yeah.
And it's through Montechusett Healthcare or whatever up there, gave them the $5,000 and then it was reimbursed from Northbrook, and I'm having a hard time getting anybody to call me back or even make
Well,
answers.
until you're comfortable with it, if you'd keep working on it, Denny, I mean, they're not coming after us. We just want to clean up the books.
Right,
And you can tell June that there's nothing you can do until you can get a hold of somebody.
and the River Run, it was through the old town council and everything. And then, there's a lawyer, the Bergeron lawyer out of Marlboro. I don't know whether it's the zip line people up there or is it Crescenti there?
I thought that was the houses down in front. Wasn't that, there was a pot of money that was put aside when they built those houses. Supposedly there was a drainage ditch that was built along River Road. And that money was supposed to be to maintain that drainage ditch if they didn't maintain it.
I don't remember that or recollect that.
How is it recorded with June?
She has nothing on it. She could not get me anything.
Does
on
she
that.
know who deposited the money?
It's either Bergeron, the lawyer firm out of Marlboro, and it was with the Old Town Council, which is in Worcester. And I'm still digging and nobody wants to call me back. So eventually they may not want the money. But I'm pretty sure it's something to do with Sunny too there. Because they put the wells up in the back and ran a well line all the way down to the Rotary so that they could get the Dunkin' Donuts and the gas station going.
You know, you might want to talk to Tim Wheeler. This might not even be our baby. It might be the planning board,
All right,
because they're the ones that are dealing with Senny and the Rotary there. So, you might want to check with him and see if he knows the origin. Do you know what I mean?
okay,
But we can't do anything until we can confirm, and you're doing your best to try to help us confirm it, so.
right. I'll see if I can get a hold of Tim tomorrow.
Okay, at this time, I would be thanking, Pat and Ginny. I'll have to do it next month because they're not here. But the new, fee schedule was adopted.
Yeah, and
So-
I have it up on the website, on the ZBA page. Along with
Excellent.
the new instruction for the process instructions.
Okay, the only other. The only other thing I want to do, and you guys could take a look at the current one, is the application form. And I was gonna type up a new one unless someone's volunteering. The form itself, the first page is not bad. But on the second page, there's a section 18 we don't use. Under the signatures, particularly when the owner is not the petitioner, there's no printing. You have no idea who that person is. So, and Margaret wanted added in, not necessarily to that form, but whether they're current with their taxes.
Yeah, because the board voted in to include that in the process, so if there's gonna be a checkbox, it would need to be added to the application.
Right. And I think we can keep it to 2 pages if we just rearrange a few things. Oh, excuse me, let me just mute myself and you can amuse yourselves for a minute.
I would like to, if possible, when we create that, if we can, when we put it out there to people, if we put it out as a PDF file that can be edited so that people can bring it up as a PDF in their web browser or on their laptop, their computer, and not necessarily, they would be able to edit the fields and enter their information, but not modify the form itself. But that way they'd be able to type everything in there instead of their handwritten, which a lot of times is not legible at all.
Yeah,
That would be called a submission form, and you can do that in the Adobe Acrobat.
Yeah.
But I would think we have to have it available on paper also for people who don't have access to a computer.
Well, I think they can still print that out, even through the Acrobat.
That
I
would
always
require a
keep-
computer.
I always keep paper application and instructions in the office when I'm there, and Eloise, where they have to file it, also keeps it. So
Okay,
it's located in the building department, in the clerk's office, and then online.
I mean, granted, they're gonna have to have a computer anyways if they want to go to a meeting.
Right.
I mean, nowadays they are.
Yeah. But I would just want to say for non-discriminatory access, it should be available
Mhm.
on paper also.
Yeah, certainly. No objection to that. I would
Well,
just,
they can fill out the form, but they're still gonna have to print it and sign it and bring it to the town clerk. Because she has to stamp it.
that's fine. But it would be legible if they fill
Yeah,
it in.
absolutely. Well, this is my problem. A lot of times you don't know what company or whatever, but there's some guy's signature there and it looks like 3 letters. I mean, you'd have no way of knowing what the name is if they're signing as the owner. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if it's a corporation, you need to know what their title is. Is this one of the custodians or is it the president of the company? So if no one is volunteering to take on that task, then I think I'll try to put together one. If you take a look at the form and if you'd comment as you have, Jim, on anything else you see that you think I'm going to eliminate number 18 because Eloise doesn't use it. Okay. And put, the names underneath, add in the thing about the property taxes. And I think that was all. I was taking a look at the bottom part, that writing that's at the bottom on the second page. And I don't know if that's really necessary, but we'll see when I go around to do it.
Can you put in-
I'm happy to look at it, turning it into an online form once all the revisions are done.
If you're adept at that, that would be terrific.
I didn't exactly say that. I have Acrobat, so I can certainly try to do that because I think I did it by accident once, so I must be able to do it again.
Can you put in there, please type or print legibly?
That doesn't matter. I always, even the sign-in sheet for our meetings when we meet in person, I say, please, print clearly, and you still get a scribble and I can't read it. You can put it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't always matter.
If I do it in Word, can you transfer that to PDF?
Yes,
So if I type it up in Word, then you can take it and play with it.
yes.
Sounds
But
like a plan.
yeah, just as long as the revisions are done, because revising it once it's in PDF form is a little trickier.
Mhm.
So what would you like us to do? Would you like it to come back to the group for a meeting and have everybody say, yeah, that's what it should look like? And I would run it by Ellie, because of course she's the one that receives these, and make sure it's okay with her. And then after everybody says, yeah, this is fine, then give it to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, yeah, I can probably do small things like fixing typos or, 1 or 2 word changes, but wholesale changes aren't that easy to do in Acrobat.
Okay, I think we have a plan, folks. And again, please, before our next meeting, let me know if you see, or let Leanne know and she can relay any changes that you think should be made or anything you notice when you go over the form. So, anything else we need to do, Leanne?
I don't have anything. I just wanted to let you all know that as of today, there are no applications, so no hearings for next month, but the deadline is next Wednesday. So something still could come in next week. I am anticipating an application for a rear yard setback variance for a deck at 196 Linden Street, a variance for a side yard setback for an addition at 272 West Street. And the board for 19 Carter said that they were going to appeal the building commissioner's decision regarding the noise complaint. So I am anticipating potentially 3 hearings next month, whether they all get in by next Wednesday. I don't know if all 3 will be next month, but those are the 3 I'm anticipating.
What was the Linden Street address?
196 Linden Street.
It's a rear yard, Denny. You're supposed to have 40 feet and they're gonna be 4 feet short. And you got the, I was surprised, but Mr. Rhodes did provide us a copy of the map of
Yep,
that we signed, so that'll go in a safe place, right?
yep.
W- There was an email that was sent out earlier today, something with apparently some sort of skirmish going on here on Ball Hill Road. And part of that is they would need a variance as well. Do we know where they're even at with that? It sounds like they went to Board of Health first for
Yeah,
whatever.
the Board of Health had a meeting last night and this all just came up last night. So now
Okay.
that now they're investigating the documents that supposedly say this isn't allowed and what conservation restrictions there are and blah, blah, blah. So it did circulate today. There was discussion in the building department with the building commissioner and a letter received from the abutter. So, yeah, I don't know that it will come before this board, but
What kind of a thing is it, Leanne? Or
Um,
Jim, or,
Apparently they're trying to build a garage and a pool house.
and they want a bathroom in each one and they're not near each other. So something about sewer line or connection or whatever. But I guess when that area was built, there was all kinds of protections put on it for conservation so that it would remain pleasant and residential looking and not all these big structures. And I guess it says somewhere in this document that you couldn't have any more than a 3-car garage, and they already have a 2-car garage, and what they're proposing is a big, huge barn with additional 3 bays or something like that. So that's putting them over the limit. And,
oh, Richard has his hands full, huh?
yes. Oh, yes.
Because they'll say it's for animals
Yeah.
and it'll be farming.
Well,
there's-
it's not a barn. It's a very
Garage.
nice barn.
Yeah.
Well, that's
appar-
okay, but you know, they like their horses, you know?
Well, apparently it's, basically a 3-car garage with a small apartment in it. And then, so they were apparently going to run sewage and sewer line and plumbing from the house to this barn, and then from this barn onto a pool house of some sort down by their swimming pool. But the pool house is apparently, I guess it has it requires a 20-foot setback from the property line according to their documents.
The
And-
side lot, yeah.
So they would need a variance because they want to put it closer than that. So
Is that the first house on the left going up the hill from Captiva?
no, there's well, as you're coming up from Captiva, there's past the first house, there's a driveway that has it's a common driveway. There's 5 houses off of it.
On the right-hand side, yeah?
Yeah. And so it's one of the houses in there that's wanting to put all this in. And one of their abutting neighbors is apparently objecting to it.
Lynn, I just want to let you know that Chris Keefe has joined the meeting.
Okay. If she raises her hand or wants to say anything to us, let us know, please.
Will do.
Well, okay, guys, I think we're pretty well set with what we need to do this month.
Yep.
And everybody knows that our next meeting will be on the 12th.
October,
Yeah, October. I mean, I'm looking at January.
October 13th.
October 13th, that's right. And the potential for 3 hearings is there as soon as we get the requests, you know, you'll hear shortly after that. Anybody not available next month?
I'm traveling that week, actually.
Okay, so you don't think you'll be with us?
I do not think so, no.
I don't know, Keith, how many is that?
Oh no. Is there, am I automatically kicked off after I miss so many meetings or?
No, you get
No.
promoted.
Bad timing, just bad luck.
Well, we're not gonna let Leanne go on any more vacations, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. We're gonna take that right out of the contract.
Yeah, there is no contract.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and if you want to chit chat after, we can. About the weather.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
That
Second,
was Jim. And Jenny seconded it. I'll do a roll call. Myself is an aye, Jim,
Aye.
Jenny,
aye.
Keith,
Bye.
Susanna.
Hi.
It's unanimous. We are adjourned. We'll see you next month, folks.